Hey everyone, you're listening to Angel Nears, the podcast. Angel Nears is a Silicon Valley community for startup builders where founders and operators share their firsthand knowledge on how to build and scale startups. I'm your host, Oleg Kujikov, and our guest today is KD Deshpande, a co-founder and CEO of Simplified, the all-in-one design platform where freelancers, entrepreneurs, and teams can collaborate, scale, and grow their content. Today, we're talking with KD about the finer points of automating content creation. But before we get into that, KD, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Excited to have you too. Let's hear a little bit about you for maybe the listeners that haven't met you. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started in this business.
Sure. So before about this business, let me just give you a background on where I started my career and where I born. I born in a very humble family, humble and well-educated family. My dad is a lawyer, and my mom is in the field of science. So they always encouraged me to go and learn new things. But most importantly, they were like, "Hey, just go figure it out. This seems pretty interesting. Just go learn by yourself." They always help me to move and take the point in the right direction, and then they left up to me to choose what I want to do in life and everything. And that's how my all childhood. I did bachelor's in computer engineering back in India, and in 2000, then after I worked a couple of years and landed in US to do my master's in computer science. I landed here with like $2,000, and I still remember I bought my first laptop, like Dell laptop on $700, and I was left with like $1,200, $1,300, and I had to plan my journey.
Yeah, big investment.
Yeah, luckily I got a scholarship from my professor, and I got into his office and I said, "Hey, I want to start a company. I want to learn about the process. I want to learn about what it takes." And I had virtualization background, so he said, "Why don't we work together?" And that's how I started my first company back in 2008. We were helping small and medium-sized businesses. If you remember, probably 2008, to almost a decade back, almost every software company or most of the companies had like these software racks in their offices. And when AWS started back then, it was like, oh, now you can host all of this thing in cloud. So that's literally the business we were in. We were helping these small businesses, small offices to move their private infrastructure to public clouds. I worked there for a couple of years, and my professor was leaning towards more like really core research and virtualization, and I wanted to explore something new. After my masters, or while doing my masters, I built a couple of mobile applications, and I used to hack build in the night times. I stumbled upon this site. Back then it was Radio Time, and then it became TuneIn Radio for like discovering music. And I liked that site so much, I applied for a job, and I got a job there. But by the time I got a job, they told me, "Hey, we just raised $900,000 from Sequoia, and we are moving our headquarters from Dallas to San Francisco." And I was like, "Okay, that's fantastic because this is the place where I want to be." And I still remember 2010, 11 timeframe. I came here. The office was in front of Palo Alto Caltrain station. On day one, someone who landed in Bay Area with that startup passion and all this stuff, I walked into a broken garage. There were just like fans, and a couple of folks were like, there was a heater in the corner. A support person was supporting. Founders were just building stuff, and it's like, okay, here is your computer. Assemble everything, and let's get started. Look into this code. Go fix it. And I still remember though, almost every week, as we were fixing like AC, we were bringing refrigerator. Team was growing, and in that environment, that early exposure I got an opportunity to work on different parts of the business: engineering, product, support, partnerships. I learned so much there. over the next 2 years, I've seen the rocket hockey stick kind of a growth there. And I got connected with the community. I used to hang out with Pinterest was also back then in the Palo Alto small. These guys were hustling. So then Pulse, which is a which later got acquired in by LinkedIn. Um, I got connected with those people. I started building my kind of first-hand network or the people. Then I had this one particular problem while building the mobile application was how do you like invite people and build that community to send so that more and more people can use your beta test your application. So I built a prototype and shared with my friends, all developer community, and they were like, yeah, this is pretty cool, we would like to use it. That's literally how I started my second company, Vessel.io, which was we started Vessel.io so marketers can go and enable mobile marketing automation for them. But as an outsider, as an immigrant entrepreneur, I did not had luxury of connections, or there was nobody, hardly anyone was there to scout and make those connections. I literally spent so much time as a first time founder on Sand Hill Road to meet like different VCs and just trying to pitch our company and raise funding. And I failed back then. I failed miserably. But then one of my friend advisor, he told me like, it's okay, just continue doing what you are doing and keep building. And then we later, fast forwarding after hustling for close to like 18 months, we applied to 500 startups. And at that, it is kind of a things happen for a reason. So we built the product like WYSIWYG editor for marketers, so that way they can send push notification, SMS, email notifications to their audiences. And we got an acquisition offer. Me and my co-founder, we were really excited, like, oh wow, we got acquisition offer, it's going to be fun. And parallelly we got accepted into 500 startups accelerator program. I walked into office and told the MD of 500 startups saying, "Hey, we are getting acquired. I don't think we'll join this accelerator program." And he looked at me and he was like, "Okay, so congratulations. How much they are paying, if may I ask?" And I was like, "No, I mean they're giving us a sign-on bonus and probably offer." And he was like, "Guys, like literally f that, just come and continue working on your continue working on this startup. This has some potential, or like has potential, and if you guys still fail, I'll get you that offer again, or like some another offer again. How about that?" And I came down where my co-founder was waiting with another engineer, and I said, "Guys, look, this is our opportunity. Let's give it a try. We already hustled so much. Why not give one more try?" And that one more try changed kind of the course of my career. We've been through that accelerator. After accelerator, we were like one of the top company in our batch. We raised funding from some of the top VCs in the valley, and continued our journey. And then after another 12 to 18 months, we got acquired by another publicly traded company, Mercado, where Mercado came in other direction and said, "Look, mobile is something something futuristic, something marketers will live, breathe, and this is how users will consume, or like users will spend their most time. So we want to be on the forefront of this new wave." And I think you guys built a really interesting product which we can easily bring into our mothership, and our customers will benefit. So we did all song and dance, and eventually we exited to Mercado in 2014. And again, from going from like startup experience to a big company, first 3 months, 4 months were difficult. If I have to look back now, I was like, I'm done. I just want to quit. I don't think I meant for this. But then a friend, another advisor told me like, look, someday you will build a big company. and it's an art, it's a skill you need to acquire. And you know how to operate in a chaos in a small setting, but now this is your opportunity to learn the skills in a 500, 700, 1500 people company. And why don't give up, just continue on this journey, learn the art. So I worked there. I integrated our product into the mothership, became VP of product, GM of partnership there, expanded the product in international markets. Was there, and it was good experience to meet with like CMOs of the different top tier companies, understanding how the sales and B2B sales works and all those skills, which is good to have, and they come handy as you are building the business. 2017, Vista Equity acquired Mercado, and then Adobe acquired Mercado. During that time, I left Mercado, and I was thinking, what should I do next? Shall I go and start a company? I was looking into different ideas, but never felt that there is something I want to quit and do it again. Then I joined Uber, figuring it out, the advertising and monetization strategy. When I joined Uber, Uber was like it's a rocket ship. Company was just growing at a massive scale, and we were spending like millions and billions of dollars on marketing. And my first job at Uber was, how can we bring the efficiency in the marketing spend, because we were growing in US, Asia, APAC, all international markets, and we were spending a lot of money to acquire users. My whole job was to like, how can we bring the efficiency? So we built marketing systems there. And then second, as I build those systems and bring efficiency in the marketing spend, my another job was, how can we monetize Uber ecosystem? So if you have seen this car with billboards in San Francisco or in New York, those that's I would say that's my pet project. That was my pet project in Uber. We did that from 0 to 1, launched on the road. And earlier last year, I got an opportunity to go and work in Facebook to lead the Messenger inbox team. I left the team and joined Facebook. Um, and while since my last acquisition, I was always thinking about what should I do next. And what I realized after, and I was hacking, I was hustling, I was doing few things here and there, but then the whole I was not happy. Uh, I Even though I was working at great companies, or like I was working at like Facebook, which is a mecca of product managers or like the tech people, I was feeling that something is missing. And then while doing that, last year, March timeframe, February March timeframe, I was thinking like, we need an easy way to communicate. If you look at the industry as a whole, we made so much progress tech wise, from Microsoft Paintbrush to Adobe Photoshop and all these technical. We build amazing these creativity tools, or like photo editing tools or video editing tools. But I realized that the that simplicity is lost along the way. And I was thinking about that. And then second, when I was working in Uber, I got an opportunity to work with small restaurants to Fortune 500 big companies. One thing I realized and that people need to collaborate more. The marketing to launch. So first thing is, everybody needs marketing, no matter what. If you're a small one man to, or like a mom and pop shop to a Fortune 500 company, you need marketing. You need to deliver. You need to be in front of your customers. You need to be telling the same story. Your brand needs to, because today's customers have very short term memory. So unless and until you go and talk to them again and again, it's really, really difficult for you to stand out. So I looked at these two. I looked back, connected some of the dots and learnings, in my life and said, okay, probably I should start thinking about how can we help these small and medium-sized businesses to stand out in front of like this massive growth. And unfortunately, the whole COVID started, world changed entirely, and we started spending a lot of time at home. And I was still working on this idea. I was building the product and I was showing it to marketers, designers, freelancers. I was paying out of my pocket to interview them back then. And I realized that it's resonating with people. It's resonating with what we are trying to like everything. They feel that it's theirs. They are part of this process. So that's how that journey of simplified started. And then it came to a point I was like, I'm done. This is it. I want to work on this particular idea. And when I was at Facebook, I was like, is this is this something I really want to do? If I look back 5, 10 years down back in my memory lane, I don't want to feel like I never did that or I had a chance. And when you are stuck in your thinking, I felt it's time to make a change. So I decided to follow my heart and said I'm ready to make new mistakes, and that's how journey of simplified started.
Okay, well, thanks for the lengthy introduction. I feel like we've gotten to know you through all that, and through your journey, you've seen a lot, right? You were at big companies with lots of people, organizations that run with just a high volume of people in them, and it sounds like you, through that experience, have found this need for simpler collaboration within marketing or whatever department. I don't know if it's just marketing, but there's this need. So can you talk about that need? Like when you talk about simplified, what's the need for teams or users that it's fulfilling?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to ask you some questions, like a quiz, a trick question. So when you open your, wake up your first thing in the morning, what you do?
I open up my phone. I hate to admit this, but I got the Headspace
When
app,
you,
and there's a quick
yeah,
video
correct,
I watch.
correct. When you go to when you go to bed, what is the last thing you do?
Turn off the lights in my room.
Probably you check your phone, consume some more content, and probably go to the bed, right? So
That does happen, yeah.
think
Sometimes.
about like we let's look at the consumer behavior. We as a consumer are consuming more content than ever. We are spending a lot more time, and then COVID amplified that probably 10x, because there is nothing to do. You're just like consuming content since morning, like the first thing you do till the last thing you do. And then the content formats are getting lighter and more interactive. Means like there is it started with like photos. It started with like Instagram did the revolution around like this whole, then Snapchat did this disappearing stories. And now if you look at, there is a TikTok. You're consuming content on TikTok. You're consuming a lot more content right now as a user. And we go and swipe up, left, right, down, all these directions. But do you know, for that 10 seconds of reel, how much effort goes in? Like somebody, if you're a small company or you're for an enterprise company, there is a team of people constantly thinking about what should I put in front of my users, what kind of content I should create. 1 billion plus stories get shared across the globe on Facebook alone. So, as content formats are getting lighter and more interactive, today's businesses or like marketing demands velocity and coordination to deliver consistent on-brand message across all the channels. And the existing tools are slow. They're not meant for that kind of scale. They're not, I mean, they are great, but they're not meant for today's demand. They are non-collaborative, and they just don't have the capacity to help these users like companies. with this scale.
Mhm.
It takes like village to launch marketing campaigns. It takes you if you have looked at like traditionally the way process starts is there is a brief, there is some ideation, then somebody goes and creates these whole creatives, then there is a marketer who sets the tone, then somebody goes and schedule those for publishing, and you have to do it like to stand out on these channels. You need to do it like 3, 4, 5 times a week. That's how these algorithms are meant for. Because if you are not on top of that scroll stopping reel or TikTok videos, probably you lost that opportunity.
Hmm.
And that's why I saw an opportunity to build the next generation demand for scroll stopping content, which is creating how can we allow people to do this amazing content collaboratively at a hyper fast growth, all in one place. And that's how the this idea of simplified started. Can we build like one app to create, collaborate, and scale your digital content?
I want to understand this space a little bit more. So let's start with like a high level overview of just design, because you mentioned tools. I'm kind of curious about that. So 10 years ago, the vast majority of designers, they probably worked in Adobe Photoshop, and it's a powerful tool, but it's not very collaborative, and there weren't many other options. That's 10 years ago. Now those tools have grown, but I kind of want to stay in this 10-year ago timeframe. Can you talk about can you talk about how that evolved from just like starting with Adobe Photoshop? How has design grown within companies? Yeah.
One step back, even if you have played with Adobe, even Microsoft Paintbrush, probably that was the like easiest form of like any design or like creation, right? Simple, easy. Then we did so much progress. Cameras got like really rich with hardware, so you needed a lot more processing. That's where the Adobe is amazing company, and they did like so much progress. But traditionally, we've been consuming content which is really meant to consume over the long period of time. But in last 10 years, and still these tools where they do the great job for what they are supposed to do, like long form content which is consumed over a long period of time. These tools, then there is a Sketch, Figma. Over the last 5 years, Figma came in, and these tools are probably still meant for product designers, people with like a lot of skills, people who know nitpicky things about designs. And then Canva, which came started in 2013 to 12 13, and then they did amazing work to commoditize design making, and I think making it available for pretty much everyone as possible at the. But when it comes to marketing, marketing is not just about design. Marketing is, it's all about like thinking about what is that brand message you want to put in front of users. It is like consistent consuming content. So typically in today's world, let's existing set of tools, our companies are using those tools. But if you look at marketers want to push content 3 or 4 times per week, or like even more, like every 6 7 hours they won't just want to post more content. So that way, and or last, so that's the reality today. And they on the you they have brand designers in house who are struggling to keep up with the demand. Because if I have to post a simple message saying, let's say I'm a Shopify store and I want to publish saying, hey, we are running this sale, I cannot just go and run this scale on just Facebook. I need to run that same creative. I need to make sure that it looks good on Instagram Reels. It looks good on TikTok. It looks good on Twitter. It looks good on Pinterest, because I want to be where users are. So as a marketer, I want to move fast, and that's where the existing tools, the traditional media was failing, or like is failing. The businesses were like struggling. Marketers were like, okay, they were businesses were slow to catch up on. And that's where we said, how can we bring that simplicity back without going and use AI machine learning, so that way we can continue to have that simplicity and let the machine do heavy lifting for you.
So let me try to repeat that back. Like, we started with great design tools. Adobe Photoshop was wonderful. Then, the industry grew. New tools like Figma, then Canva, are really strong tools. But marketers need to get in front of their customers, and they want to do it as often as possible. So they want to create content. They want to get in front of people and do it on multiple platforms, right? You want to be on the new thing. You want to be on Facebook
Correct.
feed, but you want to be all over the place.
Correct.
So these new tools don't really support that kind of that type of velocity. So yeah. So tell me next, just where does simplified fit in?
So the problem which we said we noticed while I was working at Facebook, and even all my last, there are too many tools, convoluted workflows that had made the design and marketing process longer and more costly than it needed to be. And that's where we said, can we build one app, not just the design, like can we build one app for all, where you can, like, non anyone can create content in 1/10 of time and at a fraction of cost. What that product will look like. And when we say digital content, it could be like static assets, animated assets, videos, GIF, collaboratively. And that's where this vision of Simplified started. So our vision at Simplified is, we are not just building a product, we are not just building the platform, we are building a space where you can do more with less, collaborate with your entire team, and unleash your creativity.
So next, I'm wondering, like, and we'll talk about customers in a little bit, but who is this for? Is this for large companies with big marketing departments, or is this for early stage startups that want to make most of the few people that work there?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. Simplified is, we are starting with more like knowledge workers, like that one marketer or like a team of marketers. So typically what we have seen is, there is a lot of pull from founders, small entrepreneurs, digital marketers who want to scale their brand and collaborate with their team like never before. We are growing with them. And then, as one person in your department is finding the value, they are bringing another person in your department. So our job is, what we are trying to do is, like, how can we, like the Google Smart Compose, we are not replacing your job, we are just making you look smarter, we are making you look like, if efficient. And that's how the journey, that's how we are seeing the pull from businesses, D2C marketers, who are running like these Shopify stores, small businesses, or even freelancers who wants to do more with less, like serve 5 clients more every single day, earn more for themselves, and do not just like do like just spray painting, but they want to deliver amazing content to their customers. And this is the tool set, this is the creativity stack we are giving to them. And another interesting thing, why now? Because this is a very interesting content. If you have seen from like last 2000, last decade, to like especially right now, there are more creators in the world than ever. People are creating more content, but most importantly, there is a fundamental shift is happening. Content is no longer expense, content is an asset.
Can you go deeper into that? What do you mean?
Yeah, so if you when I was building like 2000, last two companies, content was seen as an expense. It's a marketing expense, like, oh, I would write a blogs, how much it is going to cost me, I have to create a video, oh, it's a 3 grand, 5 grand. Oh, it was an expense on on your P&L. But now, content is not seen as expense, it's seen as an asset. And I think one of the line I said to your dad, saying, "Hey, probably I'm going to use it somewhere in one of my podcasts." Is, It's like Thanksgiving dinner, right? You make it once and then you eat it over next couple of days for lunch, breakfast, lunch, like you straight. That's exactly the concept of content. You create it once and you use it like everywhere, and that's the power. And if you have seen, probably in decades, when is the last C-level new role got created? People are hiring chief creative officers, like big companies are hiring medium, like series B or onwards companies are thinking and creating that position, chief creative officer.
Do you think the design industry will follow the footprints of the sales stack with dominant player like sales, like a Salesforce and hundreds of other smaller, much smaller startups? Or do you think it's going to go the way of the marketing stack with an ecosystem of kind of smaller niche players that exist under kind of an umbrella of a few major general use guys?
Yeah, so far I have seen the marketing stack style, and we are still early. We are still early in that game. um, More and more companies and entrepreneurs start thinking, and we are going away from that siloed tool concept now. Because think about, like, if right now, if you have to just do, it's better to have one app, so that way you can do everything at one place. It takes time to build that kind of a platform, but once you get it right, it's easier and good for your customers, because then they can do copywriting, they can do design, they can create, collaborate, and everything in one place, like Google ecosystem. Once you get into that, you have like your presentations, you have your docs, you have Excel sheets. And that's how, with the last 3 4 5 years, with ClickUp, Notion, and even Coda, that style of thinking is coming a lot more. It's like, can we have one stack which will do the whole thing for you? And we are going in that direction, saying, can we have a one stack, like one app, so that way you can do more with less, I mean, spending less time and spending less money. So it truly benefits your end user.
Well, that's a good segue because next I want to talk about, the simplified platform and what you're doing. Can you talk about the core elements that make up your platform?
Yeah, sure. So currently, so here's how we did it. So we started last year, we started building the product. In March, we opened like private beta. This year, almost like 8 9 months of like building and testing. And in August, literally like a month back, we opened public beta. And currently, using simplified, you can we want to be we are taking each function in your marketing workflow. So that way, so currently on simplified, you can come and design amazing creatives. You can design once and use it, repurpose it across all your marketing channels like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. You can just come in, it's a WYSIWYG no code editor. You can drag and drop things, and your content is ready. So it's easier for you to deliver on brand content every single time. You can build videos on simplified. You can use all of this, you can do it in a collaborative way. And the whole platform is built on collaboration, and we are certainly using machine learning for some of the things like background remover or like making your designs pop. You can We also integrated with copywriting. So we are using AI for copywriting, because copywriting is such an integral part of your marketing ecosystem. That messaging, so instead of like, we jokingly say we are retiring lorem ipsum, which designers are using is as a placeholder. Now using simplified's AI assistant, designers can just create content on the fly and reduce that time from like weeks to a day, and move at that speed. And then in future, there is a publishing coming to the platform, and a lot of other cool stuff in pipeline. And we build in public, so our community is telling us what to do next. And we already integrated with Google Drive, so you can bring all your assets which is sitting there in Google Drive into your day-to-day usage. So you don't need to go and search, oh, where is my that particular photo or images residing. You will have all that access in one place.
All right, sounds amazing. Let's look under the hood. Talk about your technology stack and what kind of important choices you had to make early on there.
Well, before even we go to technology stack, one challenge was like we do not wanted to just replicate what Adobe built, amazing tech from desktop to web. That's not what we are building. We are taking the fundamentally different approach and saying, if my dad have to do this thing, or you don't need to acquire like specialized skills to do all these things. So how can we in just we have a three clicks rule. You should be able to do what you want to do in just like 3 clicks. It could be video, it could be your social media assets, it could be your marketing material. Can you do it in just like less than 3 clicks? So and we so our whole first biggest challenge was, can we have a simplified user experience? So today when you log in, you don't need to learn something new, because our typical audience are the target audience is marketers, business owners. Fundamentally they don't have that those skills. So we are giving them tools and keeping user experience as simple as possible, and behind the scene our infrastructure is doing whole heavy lifting. So with that product principles, um, we had to make a choice. Is like, what should I do to keep the application needs to feel faster. It needs to respond. It is a real time collaboration. So if you and me are collaborating, then it needs to feel like Google Docs. It needs to feel like amazing Google tech. They build over probably thousands of engineers probably working on that tech. How can we give that similar level of experience? It should feel fast and simple, which is a very deadly lethal combination. Fast and simple. Either you can make it fast or you can make it simple. So to do that, our front end is all, we are optimizing every single day. It's all React. We are using a lot of canvas like this HTML, WebGL canvas, so that way we can do rendering like extremely faster. And then the backend is all Python stack. We have like everything from like Node, Python, Elasticsearch, Redis, all like cutting edge technologies which allow. And then for our collaboration, we have homegrown stack, which we have built some of the algorithms which can do the conflict resolutions and other stuff, using some of the popular algorithms. Um, um, and we go through a lot of iterations to build, and we have this ritual in our company. We are still a small company. Every show, don't tell, which is like, go ship things, just show, don't tell. So our team is constantly working on adopting new technologies and delivering on that promise of fast and simple, easy to use on these three product principles.
You already mentioned it, using machine learning to, work the background and make your images pop. Can you describe how you're using machine learning to automate different parts of the content creation process?
Yeah. So we already integrated OpenAI GPT-3 for a lot of content creation. So that way, when designers are thinking like, what message I should put it on this marketing campaign, they click a button, and GPT-3 or like OpenAI gives us probably 10 different recommendation. And that's the one piece of. For background remover, we also integrated with some of the we are constantly training our models to remove the objects, identifying the objects. We are using the mix and match of like off the shelf products, as well as our homegrown technology to achieve that. And then third thing is, we are doing a lot of personalization. When people come into the application, we want them to show most relevant content. So that way, we are still early in that phase, but that's where we are heading. And then the last piece is automation. If you have, let's say, 1,000 pieces of content, or like if you are a Shopify store, or you are a marketplace, it's very difficult for you to go and create content to promote every single product. So you can come in and use simplified automation to create, let's say, 1,000 pieces of content within like few clicks. So we are building connectors with a lot of these Google Sheets and Google Drives, so that way marketers can do more with less and scale their content from zero to thousand, zero to like whatever number they want uh, in just no time.
What are some of the key milestones? I know you've only, as a company, been around for about a year. It sounds like,
Yeah.
but so not a huge time frame. But what are some of the key milestones that you've achieved so far along your journey?
Yeah, I think so. I was planning to drop this update tomorrow as a part of Build in Public movement. Um, so we so first goal is first milestone is people. When I raised our pre-seed funding from Craft Ventures and some of the top PLG or like product lead focus investors, my first goal, I told them, like, it's all about people. So I built to the date like really amazing team in place. Recently we have I have amazing co-founder. We are seasoned. We together we failed enough that we know how not to do things. And then we have the first things, people. So people is P0 in simplified. Our current team is, we have built the team in Mexico City. In our, it's 100% remote team, and all our team is distributed in Mexico, India, Canada, and Europe. So we are learning how to run a global team with like diverse and inclusive culture. Right now we have like equal representation, almost like 40-60% of we have diverse culture in the team. I think that is the number one thing I would say we have achieved. Second thing, when we launched our public beta on October, I mean July 15, by July, in just 2 weeks, we had 10,000 users registered on our website and using the product. And now today is August 31st, which is like less than almost a month. We we almost like 4x, 5x growth since in this month. We already have close to like 40,000 plus people signed up in just month. We are just growing at a rapid pace. And yeah, there is a lot more things are planned. So I would say that those are the key milestones. And the product is people are sharing, people are vocal about, people want to pay for the product, which is and it's not just like one. We the all adoption is global. We have people using from like San Francisco to Singapore, or Myanmar to Mumbai, or we have seen people using from like South Africa to like San Paulo. So we have seen people using, and we are learning from them. We are building this product with them, for them. So that's the milestones we have achieved so far. And then there are other things which are coming in pipeline as we are growing and building the company.
Awesome. All right. Well, we're kind of running out of time here. I want to wrap up with one more question. What are some of the challenges you face as a founder that keep you up at night?
I think I have built companies in the past, but this company is different. This company is the one of the challenge is, no matter what, how many times you did it in the before or like in the past, you want to deliver amazing experience to your customers, because people come for product, but they stay for community and the experience. Product over the period of time becomes commodity. So how can we support our users? Those are global. That's the one thing. I personally spend some time with our responding support, chatting, or give online support to our users. And as we are scaling, we are trying to figure it out how we can put proper support in place, proper documentation, or like proper help, because we are in it, like this is a marathon. So we want to create that amazing platform where people thrive. How can we become the integral part of their ecosystem? Not specific worries keep me awake. It's just the opportunity and the that passion to help this community of creators, marketers, and feedback. Having I get an opportunity to speak with a lot of these freelancers or like customers who were like, "Hey, who are thanking you for this product." That excitement keeps me awake in the night.
All right. Well, before we get out of here, what's the best way for our listeners to reach you, KD, and learn about Simplified?
Yeah. So, listeners, thank you for listening. To this podcast, you can learn about Simplified on simplified.co. It's .co, and you can follow me on Twitter or message me on LinkedIn. It's That's the easiest way, or simply drop a mail on hello at simplified.co.
All right. Well, that's a bunch of ways to reach KD. We're going to end our show there. If you liked it, please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and leave us a rating, but only if it's a good one. KD, thanks for joining the show today. We appreciate your time, and it was really great to learn from you and about what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me here.